really had to start when I was probably about 14 years old. And I wanted a church that would teach me. It has to be a church on this earth that was going to teach us what Heavenly Father wants us to know. Because I felt that going to the Methodist church, you could just believe whatever you want, and you didn't just feel a spirit that. So, but it wasn't, of course, until Dad and I got married and he was in the Army that we both went to different churches. But on Sunday we'd get up and just go to a church. It was always a different church, trying to find a church that was going to teach us. I had such a desire, strong desire to find that. I needed that. I needed it for me. I needed that. And then, of course, we went, then the missionaries came to our house, and we invited them back.
And this was in Newburgh?
This was in Newburgh when I was out of the Army. But they never came back. I think what happened, they were transferred. I mean, now I look back, think, well, they were transferred, and they could never found us where we are. We were way up there, you know. So it wasn't until we moved to Alabama that we went back to the Methodist church, and it was, you know, our kids had to go in the nursery, and they didn't even want kids in, well, they didn't call it sacrament, but in our first meeting.
So you, attended that one regularly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We would go there. And then I had that disagreement with my preacher over Jesus.
What was the disagreement?
Well, that was when the hippie business was going on. And I just, what? I don't know what you're saying. I'll take my hand down. And so I went up there because we sold Christmas trees. You know, I went up there to work one morning. I probably had John with me, I don't know. Went up there one morning to help with the sale of Christmas trees, and
Well, John was born after on Long Island, so you probably had Sam with you.
I had somebody was with me. Anyway, so we got talking about the hippies. That's what everybody was talking about, this free love that was all going on. That we were discussing how bad that was. And he popped up and said, well, if Jesus was walking the earth, he would be a hippie. I said, what? I said, yeah, he would be a hippie. And then I just couldn't believe it. And so then we discussed more about it, and finally, and I said, is that what I'm supposed to believe? And he said, yes. And he said that, he says, you need to find a church, like the Nazarene church. He says, you need to find another church that will teach you. And I went home that day and thought, man, that's what I'm supposed to believe. That I don't think there's a God. And so we didn't go, of course, to church that Sunday. It wasn't long after that the missionaries came to the door, and I told them I was not interested. I did, because I thought, after what he was telling me, you know. So it must have been a couple weeks later, and they came back. And I told them, come in. We sat down and talked, and told them to come back that night so Dad would be there. And and you kids, and I knew right away. But it took me a while. What you go through is unbelievable, because I knew that's what I wanted, but for some reason, I don't know if I was afraid or just what the reason was, but I was so nervous. I couldn't do anything. It was terrible. But I talked all the time about what they told me, what the missionaries would tell me. And I talked about that all the time. And I talked that to, what was that guy's name that used to come?
Cecil.
A friend of Dad, Cecil. And I talked to Cecil about it. And I talked to Jerry Summers about it.
So you knew Cecil before we joined the church? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
And I talked to Cecil about it. And I talked to Sonia about it, and Jerry. And Jerry came in, so then I told the missionaries to come back for the second lesson. And that's when those preachers knocked on my door and stayed half the night trying to talk me out of seeing the missionaries, talking to the missionaries. And I had my neighbors tell me it was a cult and everything. And no, it's not. From there on, it's,
Do you want to tell us about when you were praying about if you should?
Oh, when I was praying to if I should get baptized, I did. I was praying about it, and I'd say I have to know before I take a step like this, because I was really searching for something, and I was there praying. I was kneeling on the bed, and Sam was in the bed. And I remember told him to fold his arms, and I was praying, and that's when a voice told me just as plain. I mean, you could never doubt it. It was that plain, because I got up, told me to be baptized. And I got up and turned around to see if someone was standing there. That's what I thought. I thought, it scares you for a minute, and I thought, somebody, and I didn't know anything about the Holy Ghost, so I've always heard that, there's Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost, but I never knew anything more than that. I never knew that the Holy Ghost can, explain value things and everything. So I went downstairs. Dad was just going to school. And he got home, I think at 10 o'clock or something. I went downstairs, and I opened up the door for him, and he says, "You're going to be baptized, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." "How do you know?" He says, "I can see it in your face." He said, "Your whole face changed."
Wow. Wow, Mom.
Oh, it's baptized.
I hope it's okay if I add this into this video. But I was wondering, we all hold you in such high esteem.
I don't know why you do that.
For joining the church. It's like you're up here, and then you've got all of us coming.
Yeah,
like it's like it started with you.
But somebody would have.
And I wonder if everything you went through was because there's someone in your line that is going to do something important for the Lord.
Well, I think I had sons that went on missions.
Okay, pause.